Delegates from the U.S. and Iran meeting today to discuss terms for peace amid the deadly war in the Middle East. Here's ABC News foreign correspondent Marcus Moore from Beirut, Lebanon, with the latest from that region.
The Israelis have said that they have targeted Hezbollah, but what we've heard from residents and as well as the emergency services here in Lebanon is that residential areas have been hit. And all of this is now playing a very critical role in the effort to secure a peace agreement in the war in Iran.
The U.S. delegation is led by Vice President J.D. Vance, while the Iranian delegation is led by their parliament speaker.
Well, after last night's successful splashdown of the Artemis II, Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen and his 3 crewmates are expected to arrive at NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston today. The crew underwent initial medical checks aboard the recovery ship after splashing down off the coast of San Diego. Mission Control Rob Navias called it, quote, a perfect bullseye splashdown. So what's next for NASA's moon projects? ABC's Gio Benitez lets us know.
The Artemis III mission in 2027 will test docking with commercial landers and test new spacesuits. Artemis IV, scheduled for 2028, is to be the first crewed lunar landing since 1972.
The crew for the next Artemis mission has not yet been announced.
You're listening to 680 News Radio. The up and down roller coaster ride for many clubs continues in the English Premier League. 680's Randolph Fairbairn with the story.
Friday started week 32 off in the English Premier League with a battle of last place Wolves, who are all but guaranteed relegation, facing West Ham, a team fighting to avoid relegation, who sat a point behind Tottenham, the last team in safety. West Ham gets a big 4-0 win to move ahead of Spurs. Saturday had 4 matches, with league leader Arsenal falling to Bournemouth 2-1. Everton and Brentford tied 2-2. Burnley lost to Brighton 2-0, and Liverpool by the same score over Fulham. Sunday will bring 4 more matches, with Crystal Palace taking on Newcastle, Forest dealing with Aston Villa, and the Black Cats of Sunderland meeting Tottenham, with Hotspur in desperate need of a W. Today will close out with a battle of 2 and 6 when Manchester City meets Chelsea. The week finishes out on Monday with Manchester United facing Leeds. From the Sports Centre, I'm Randolph Fairbairn.
Ontario Corps is calling you. Join a group of volunteers committed to protecting your community. Proud to step up and stand together in times of crisis, facing down severe storms, floods, and doing what's right to keep your neighbors safe. When the next emergency comes, are you ready to make a difference for Ontario? Answer the call. Volunteer with Ontario Corps. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
Now the NewsRadio Toronto gas price update. Enpro predicts the price will rise 1 cent at midnight to $1.73.9 a litre at most GTA stations. Coming up next, traffic and weather together.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.ca. That's cars with a K. Donation's super easy, and you'll get a maximum tax credit.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Active Green and Ross.
Celebrate spring with great savings on Michelin tires at Active Green and Ross. Get a $100 rebate when you purchase a set of 4 Michelin tires before May 29. See store for details. There's no better place to buy your Michelin tires and service your vehicle than the service and tire experts at
Active Green and Ross.
A proud Canadian company.
680 News Time, 4:41. Time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together with Mike Davey.
This report brought to you by City of Toronto. If you're heading out onto the westbound 403 approaching Eglinton in the Collectors, right lane closed off with a collision. Ramp to Eglinton, the left lane will be blocked with this crash as well. Emergency crews on scene. Slow from the 401 in the Collectors. Express moving just fine. Eastbound 401 busy just beyond Highway 6 North to approaching Guelph line. I'm wondering if there is a collision here. Don't have cameras that far out, so not entirely sure. If you're in that area, star 680, you can call in, let me know. Gets busy again. Dixie alternating express collectors to approaching Leslie Ward into Kennedy collectors, slow through Salem. Westbound 401 west of Brock Street to approaching Salem, moving slowly, and then is busy. Brimley alternating express collectors to Avenue, from Weston in the Express in collectors to Dixon, and then through Guelph line. Eastbound QEW Gardner combination, east of Erin Mills to Dixie, slow through that stretch. Delays return. Kipling Express to Park Lawn, and then from the Humber Bridge to the Jarvis Ramp. Northbound DVP, Don Mills to York Mills, moving slowly. More volume southbound 404 DVP, south of Finch to approaching the Gardner. Once you're on to the westbound Gardner from Jameson to Park Lawn, you can expect a delay there as well. And then on city streets, there is going to be a problem. Eastbound Steeles at Jane, all lanes closed off with a collision. The FIFA World Cup is almost here. See Toronto come alive from June 11th to July 19th and celebrate with the world. Learn more at TorontoFWC26.ca. Your next report is at 4:51. Now your forecast. Here's Denise Andriachi.
10 is our guaranteed high today, seasonal and sunny for the rest of this afternoon. A light wind out of the northwest. We're clear this evening, partly cloudy overnight down to +1. Scattered showers and periods of light rain for Sunday. Winds will be out of the east. The daytime high is near 7, but temperatures will climb Sunday night ahead of a big warm up we're expecting. Very mild throughout most of next week. Our daytime high today, 10 degrees.
In Toronto right now, it is 10 degrees, feeling a bit more like 8 with a clear sky. 680 News Time, 444.
Looking for a Hyundai? I'm your guy.
Visit Knob Bodia's award-winning stores at Rexdale, Streetsville, and the 2026 Dealer of the Year, Mississauga Hyundai. Tons of inventory in stock and ready to drive home. Visit knobbodiashyundai.com.
Noodle Fest is back at Mandarin. Feast on noodle favorites like Korean japchae, pad thai, sweet chili udon, and more. All added to dine in with select items available for takeout and delivery until May 3rd.
A celebration of taste. Mandarin.
Let's flip a coin. Heads, you grow your business. Tails, you earn on your cash. Most banks make you pick a side. Float says, be all in. With Float, eligible Canadian businesses get up to $3 million in flexible, interest-free credit to keep building. All while their idle cash earns up to 4% interest in Float. Spend on credit and earn on balances. Heads and tails. Being all in means giving your business both. Learn how Float is all in on Canada at floatfinancial.com.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
It is 10 degrees, feeling more like 8 with a clear sky. Good afternoon. I'm Lisa Emerald, and here are the top stories this hour. Well, Prime Minister Mark Carney took to the podium at the Liberal National Convention in Montreal this afternoon. There, he was greeted to a loud applause by Liberal supporters. Carney says it's no time for politics as the country finds itself in the middle of a transformation that will define for generations to come. The convention will now be coming to a close ahead of a set by-election on Monday, which are expected to give the Liberals a majority government. Well, police are searching for the suspects involved in a drive-by shooting last night that saw 3 females the target of gunfire. Police say they were called to the area of Jane and Shepherd just after midnight. 2 of the women were struck by gunfire while the other was injured by the shattered glass in the car. And face-to-face negotiations have begun in the Middle East between Iran and the United States just days after the 2-week ceasefire was announced. The leaders discussing how to advance the ceasefire, though it remains threatened by deep disagreements and the continuous attacks by Israel in Lebanon. It's time now for sports from Sportsnet 590 The Fan with Randolph Fairbairn.
Thank you, Lisa. Things started off really well for the Blue Jays early on.
And Varsho drives the ball right field and deep. Curling back, Martin turns at the fence. It's gone. The floodgates have opened for Dalton Varsho, who hits his 2nd home run in as many days, and the Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead in the first.
Well, the other floodgates opened in the 3rd as the Twins scored 7 runs, 7-2 Twins in the bottom of the 6th. Watch it on Sportsnet. Listen on 590 The Fan. The Maple Leafs will take on the Florida Panthers in their second-to-last game at home. They come in off their 5-3 loss to the New York Islanders. Both teams have lost 4 straight. Something's got to give. The puck drops at Scotiabank Arena at 7 o'clock. you can watch it on Sportsnet. Around the NHL, the Oilers in LA to face the Kings. They're on Sportsnet West, 1-0 LA late in the first. At 7 o'clock, the Montreal Canadiens will meet the Columbus Blue Jackets on Sportsnet East. The Jets face the Philadelphia Flyers on Sportsnet 1, and the Flames are in Seattle to take on the Kraken on Sportsnet West. The nightcap as the Vancouver Canucks taking on the San Jose Sharks. That's on Sportsnet at 10 o'clock. TFC back on the pitch against FC Cincinnati at BMO Field. 1-1 the final. Round 3 of the Masters going in Augusta, Georgia. Rory McIlroy sits atop the leaderboard at -12 through 8 holes. Hao Tong Lee and Cameron Young are 3 off the pace. The top Canadian is Nick Taylor. He's at -3 through 16. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
It's Employment Law Q&A.
From 680 News Radio and Canada's leading employment lawyer, Howard Levitt, at levittlawyers.com.
True or false? I cannot be fired if I am pregnant or have taken maternity leave.
True. And if you're fired because you're pregnant or took a maternity leave, not only can you sue for wrongful dismissal, you also can get human rights damages and potentially damages under the Employment Standards Act as well.
True or false, Howard? I cannot be forced to work in a toxic work environment.
True. If the workplace is intolerable to work in, you could resign and sue just as if you've been fired.
True or false? My employer has to provide 3 written warnings before I can be fired for cause without severance.
False. If the misconduct is serious enough, no warning is required. If the misconduct is trivial, 100 warnings won't be enough to build up a case for cause.
To contact Howard, visit levittlawyers.com. That's levittlawyers.com.
Employment Law Q&A.
From Howard Levitt and 680 News Radio Toronto.
Well, 2 four-legged best friends are making the court process in Winnipeg more comforting for victims of crime and their families. Canadian Press reporter Lisa Laporte with the story.
Glossy and Bagel are accredited facility dogs working with Manitoba Justice Victim Services. They provide support to families attending trials and victims testifying in court. Carla Deely is Glossy's handler and says the pup helps people talk about some of the worst things that have happened in their lives. Research has shown assistance dogs can help with reducing stress, anxiety, and aggression, and they can act as a tool for people who have trouble communicating. Lisa Laporte, the Canadian Press.
Well, a man in his 30s was stabbed at Brampton GO station overnight. Police were called to the station at around 12:30 a.m., where they found the man suffering from serious stab wounds. He was rushed to a trauma center where he remains in stable condition. Upon further investigation, they learned the stabbing was the result of a fight between the victim and suspect. The suspect fled the area and is described as a man with a medium complexion, thin build, in his 20s to 30s. He was last seen wearing a blue zip sweater with white lines, black pants, blue shoes, glasses, and a black balaclava. Coming up next in 60 seconds, we'll see how your drive is looking and check your weather forecast. 680 News Time, 4:50.
Debt problems go away when you visit Chende.ca.
Do you feel like your debt is out of control? You make payments month after month, yet your debt grows larger and larger. I'm Mike Chande, a licensed insolvency trustee. I can help you break the chains of debt and be debt-free. Book a free consultation at chande.ca.
Debt problems go away when you visit Chende.ca.
Chande, C-H-A-N-D-E.
This spring on CHCH-TV.
Welcome to Comedy in 5.
Hosted by Crystal Berrier.
Good to be here.
3 comedians.
It was filled with Canadians.
5 minutes.
Oh, thank God we're both dumb.
Infinite laughs.
Here we go. The real Crystal is coming out.
They did not like that in Oakville.
Thank you. That is funny, right?
Have you seen us?
The best 5 minutes of my life.
Comedy in 5 premieres April 20th at 8 on CHCH-TV.
680 News Time, 4:51. It's time for Rogers Xfinity Internet, traffic and weather together with Mike Davey.
This report brought to you by 407 ETR. If you're heading out Onto the westbound 403 approaching Eglinton in the collector's right lane, a collision. And then the ramp to Eglinton, the left lane will be blocked with this crash as well. Slow from the 401 in the collectors. Eastbound 401 spoke to a traffic spotter approaching Guelph line. A live lane will be blocked with a collision. Slow from Highway 6 north and approaching Kiel in the collectors. The right lane will be blocked with a collision as well. That's causing a delay from the 427 express collectors. Delays return from the Allen alternating express collectors to Leslie Ward and to Kennedy collectors. Slow through Salem. Westbound 401, it's busy. Brock Street to approaching Salem, Kennedy to Avenue, alternating express collectors, Islington to the 427, west of Highway 25 to west to Guelph line. Northbound DVP, Don Mills to York Mills, moving slowly. Southbound 404 DVP, it's backed up. Finch to approaching the Gardner. Reports of a couch on the southbound 400 south of King Road. It's going to be in one of the center lanes, so be careful there. I spoke to MTO. They're going to get out there and scoop that up. Westbound Gardner moving slowly from Jameson to Park Lawn. If you're traveling on to the westbound QEW, busy in a couple of spots. 427 to here, Ontario. Ford Drive to Trafalgar. Bronte to approaching Brain will be spotty through that section. Eastbound QEW Gardner combination. More volume. Aaron Mills to Dixie approaching Park Lawn to the Jarvis Ramp. On city streets, eastbound Steeles closed at Jane for a collision. 407 ETR proud to support TMU's School of Medicine, helping drive better access to care in Brampton. Learn more at 407etr.com. Your next report is at 5:01. Now your forecast. Here's Denise Andriachi.
A mainly sunny and seasonal afternoon, the guaranteed high 10. We are clear this evening. Partly cloudy skies overnight. Some wet weather, spring showers in the forecast for Sunday. About 5 to 8 millimeters expected here across the GTA. We also have some wet weather forecast Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So an unsettled weather pattern is setting up, but also a milder pattern. In fact, next week is going to be some of the most consistently comfortable conditions that we've had in many, many months. But you will need to keep the umbrella handy. Our guaranteed high today, 10 degrees.
In Toronto right now, it is 10 degrees, feeling a bit more like 8 with a clear sky. 680 News Time, it's 4:53.
This extended forecast is brought to you by Nav Badia Automotive.
Looking for a luxurious Genesis or a premium Hyundai? I'm your guy. Over 100,000 vehicles sold in the GTA. Find out why. Visit navbatiaautomotive.com.
Alpine News Network is here live with one of our superheroes.
I have super-powered debt consolidation and human-powered rhymes. I met a homeowner. His name was Brett. He had a few bills, but don't you fret. Home equity loans is my skill set. Consolidating bills, that's what you get.
Own your home? Need a loan? Alpine Credits can help.
Alpine Credits, where homeowners get approved.
Fiscal license 12616.
This season, why not make the most of your outdoor space? Listen for the 680 News Radio Backyard Report. It's handy information that can turn your backyard into the ultimate oasis. Powered by Hickory Dickory Decks. Over 40,000 decks built. With the largest selection in low-maintenance decking, top quality workmanship, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. To get started, visit decks.ca or call the experts at Hickory Dickory Decks today and enjoy life outdoors.
It's an understatement to say people around the world are feeling the effects of the rising cost of fuel. In Ireland, protests over the soaring prices saw vehicles blocking traffic, which led to closures of the main highway around Dublin and 6 other major roadways. The chief executive of Fuels for Ireland says more than 1,500 service stations in Ireland are out of fuel, with the number expected to grow dramatically if the roadblocks continue. On Friday, Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin said the country was on the brink of turning tankers away during a global shortage and was in jeopardy of losing its oil supply. Well, a lawsuit has been filed against Prince Harry by a charity he founded in honor of his late mother, Princess Diana. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the details.
Prince Harry is now being sued for libel by Sentabale, the charity that he founded in honor of his late mother, Princess Diana. And this marks a dramatic turn and a very public fallout. The charity, which supports young people in communities affected by HIV and AIDS in southern Africa, says that Harry and his close friend, Mark Dyer, were behind what it calls a coordinated adverse media campaign that damaged the organization's reputation and disrupted its work. Harry stepped away from that charity last year after a clash between its board of trustees and the board chair. Well, now the charity says false narratives about the organization and its leadership spread publicly, writing it triggered an onslaught of cyberbullying directed at the charity and its leadership.
A spokesperson for Prince Harry and Mark Dyer wrote in a statement that they reject these offensive and damaging claims and then go on to accuse the organization of using charitable funds to pursue legal action. The charity says the lawsuit is about protection and insists no charitable donations are being used to cover costs. Coming up next in about 60 seconds, the Weekend Business Report.
University Health Network has been named the #2 hospital in the world. I'm Kevin Smith, President and CEO of UHN. We're united to create the best care, education, and research. Visit uhnfoundation.ca.
Are you ready to kickstart spring? Rona has everything you need to get going. This Saturday and Sunday, April 11th and 12th, Ontario stores only, get 15% off regular priced items with a purchase of $100 or more. Online and in-store. Conditions apply. Visit rona.ca for details. Let's get cracking.
In Unionville, location is everything, and Angus Glen sets the standard. Introducing Sky Towns by Kyle Moore. Refined 3-story townhomes in one of Markham's most established and sought-after communities, where lifestyle meets convenience. Steps to golf, parks, top schools, cafes, shops, and trails just minutes away. A neighborhood defined by long-term value and proven demand. From over $1.2 million due to HST announcement. Register today at KyleMooreLiving.com to secure your home. Kyle Moore, built on reputation, defined by location.
Time now for the Weekend Business Report.
If the idea of going on a cruise makes you think of this, the industry wants to update its image for the TikTok generation.
Here are some amazing Travel Tuesday deals that you don't want to miss out.
This is Adri Smith. Stand by with Adri. To her more than 600,000 Instagram and TikTok followers, Smith's made a full-time job selling travel tips to Gen Z, and she's not the only one.
Every time someone asks me whether they should book a 3-night cruise or a 7-night cruise, I hear the same thing.
Melissa Newman says she made $350,000 last year talking travel across her platforms, where she goes by Professor Melissa. She is a business professor by day. The cruise lines are taking notice.
Today we're going to take you on every slide, ride, and thrilling experience.
Royal Caribbean signed a contract with Alex Ojeda. He's got 14 million subscribers to his water slide videos. Virgin Voyages says it saved 95% on video production costs as more travelers click #cruise than watch TV ads. Nathan Hager, Bloomberg Radio.
How would you improve your life if money was no object? Canadians have been trusting Capital Direct to close the divide between what they want and what they have for more than 20 years. A flexi line from Capital Direct could help you achieve your goals. How would you use $80,000, $280,000, or even $2.8 million? Sometimes there's a difference between what you want and what you have. Invest in your goals. Call Capital Direct, license 10549 at 1-800-NEW-CAPITAL. CapitalDirect.ca.
They say when you're sad or a little bit down, that's the perfect time to volunteer. For me, I get so much from donating blood. It's an instant way to shift that mindset. I walk in here with a purpose, and when I've accomplished that, I walk out with my head a little bit higher. I know that I've helped somebody, but that person has also helped me.
Canadian Blood Services. Experience what you get when you give. Book an appointment at blood.ca.
Sunshine day.
Now, regional weather conditions for Coy Brothers.
Check out the Greenworks Commercial battery-powered lawn equipment.
Fully serviceable by our technicians.
Greenworks Commercial in stock at Coy Brothers.
KOOYBROS.com.
In Toronto right now, sitting at 10 degrees with a clear sky. 680 news time, 5 o'clock.
#1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good afternoon. It is Saturday, April 11th. I'm Brandon DePont.
And I'm Lisa Emerald. Here is what's making news right now.
Prime Minister Mark Carney delivers a keynote address at the Liberal National Convention as the party sits on the verge of forming a majority government in Ottawa.
Police are on the hunt for 2 men after gunfire erupts from a suspect vehicle targeting a separate car, thus injuring 3 women just after midnight near Jane and Shepherd.
NASA's Artemis II crew are now in Houston, Texas, speaking amongst 2 reporters, including Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen. Will tell you exactly what they're talking about and the reception for the incredible astronauts.
Well, news out of the East End as a morning stabbing near Kingston and Brimley sends a man to hospital with serious injuries. Meanwhile, 2 other men get put in cuffs at the scene.
The Blue Jays bats will need to wake up if they want a W against the Twins, and the Maple Leafs will go against the Florida Panthers at Scotiabank Arena. Sports at 15.
680 News Time, 5:01.
And it is now time for Rogers Xfinity Internet Traffic and Weather. Together on the ones, here is Mike Davey.
This report brought to you by City of Toronto, eastbound on the 401. Reports of a fender bender as you start to approach Guelph Line. It's going to be in a live lane, not entirely sure which one. Don't have cameras out that way, but it's slow from Highway 6 north. Once you're through that, there's going to be a crash approaching Keele in the collectors. A right lane will be shut down. It's slow from Dixie alternating express and collectors. Once you're beyond that, slows back down Yonge Express to Leslie, slow Warden to Kennedy collectors, slow through Salem, westbound 401 volume west of Brock Street to approaching Salem. Then from Brimley alternating express collectors to Avenue, from Keele alternating express collectors to Dixon. Westbound on the 403, there's a collision approaching Eglinton in the collectors, so the right lane is closed off. The ramp to Eglinton, the left lane will be closed with this crash. Emergency crews on scene. Slow from the 401 in the collectors. Express looks to be moving just fine. Eastbound QEW Gardner combination Erin Mills to Dixie. There's volume. Then approaching Park Lawn to the Jarvis ramp. Westbound Gardner backed up from Jameson to Park Lawn. Once you're onto the westbound QEW volume 427 to here, Ontario. Ford Drive to Trafalgar. Northbound DVP. Don Mills up to York Mills moving slowly. Southbound 404 DVP. Finch to approaching the Gardner. You can expect a delay. Southbound 400. Reports of a couch south of King in one of the center lanes, so be careful there. MTO knows about it. On city streets, eastbound Steeles closed at Jane for a crash. The FIFA World Cup is almost here. See Toronto come alive from June 11th to July 19th and celebrate with the world. Learn more at TorontoFWC26.ca. Your next report is at 5:11. Now your forecast, Denise Andriachi.
Plenty of sunshine today. It's a seasonal start to the weekend with our guaranteed high being 10 degrees. That's exactly where we should be for this time of year. We're mainly clear this evening, but some partly cloudy conditions overnight, +1 for a low, and scattered showers and periods of rain for Sunday. This is going to bring about 5+ millimeters, an afternoon high near 7, and then we'll climb to 10 degrees Sunday night ahead of a warm up for Monday. Today's guaranteed high, 10 degrees.
In Toronto right now, it is currently 10 degrees, feeling more like 8 with a clear sky. 680 News Time, 5:04.
The Liberal National Convention in Montreal is in its third and final day and wrapping up with Prime Minister Mark Carney making his keynote address to the official voting base and political leadership earlier this afternoon. Carney called on Canadians to band together in the face of rapid geopolitical and technological change. He also nodded to major accomplishments of previous Liberal Prime Ministers, including Justin Trudeau, who Carney says walked the path of reconciliation with Indigenous people.
But he says the most moving thing Canadians have done in the past year, including during the worst tragedies, is look out for each other.
Think of the good people of Tumbler Ridge. When the unimaginable happened, first responders were at the school within 2 minutes. Teachers shielded their children. Neighbors held each other for comfort.
Earlier today, the party adopted a motion to make 16 the age of majority for Canadian kids to use social media accounts.
You're listening to 680 News Radio Toronto. 2 women in their 20s were shot while in the car overnight. A third hurt by smashing glass. That from the gunfire. It happened in the Jane Street and Shepherd Avenue West area just after midnight. The women were able to drive themselves to hospital where they were treated for their injuries and are expected to be okay. Police described the suspects as being between 20 to 30 years old, 5'5" to 5'7", and last seen wearing all dark clothing. Anyone with information is asked to come forward to police or Crime Stoppers anonymously.
Well, a large crowd gathered near Queen and Sherbourne this afternoon in protest of the closure for all supervised consumption sites in the province, including sites at Moss Park and Fred Victor downtown. It was organized by the Workers' Union, CUPE Local 5399, in collaboration with the Toronto Overdose Prevention Society and the Harm Reduction Action Collective. City's Rianne Campbell was there and has more.
The closures of supervised consumption sites across Ontario comes after the Ford government announced last month it would cut funding to all provincial supervised consumption sites, replacing them with new homelessness and addiction recovery treatment hubs, also known as heart hubs, which takes an abstinence-based approach to addiction recovery. In 2024, the government passed legislation banning injection sites from operating within 200 meters of schools and childcare centers, as the government argues supervised consumption sites have raised public safety concerns.
They're calling on Premier Doug Ford and Health Minister Sylvia Jones to rescind the announcement of defunding the sites, saying these crucial spaces build community and social inclusion, provide essential primary care, and save lives.
You're listening to 680 News Radio, and delegates from the U.S. and Iran meeting today to discuss terms for peace amid the deadly war. Here's ABC News foreign correspondent Marcus Moore from Beirut, Lebanon.
All of this is now playing a very critical role in the effort to secure a peace agreement in the war in Iran. Everyone is watching what's happening in Pakistan right now with the talks going on between the U.S. and Iranian delegations. And the Iranians have said that there can be no agreement, no peace agreement in the war until there is a ceasefire here in Lebanon.
The Associated Press, speaking with an official on the condition of remaining anonymous, confirmed talks are ongoing and progressing well.
680 News Time 5:07. In an evening prayer at the Vatican tonight, Pope Leo condemned the U.S.-Israel war in Iran and called on political leaders to stop and negotiate peace.
Abbiamo qui un argine a quel delirio di onnipotenza che attorno a noi si fa sempre più imprevedibile e aggressivo.
Pope Leo saying the conflict is fueled by the delusion of omnipotence. The Pope's call for peace comes as the United States and Iran began face-to-face negotiations in Pakistan. Pope Leo called for people of goodwill to pray for peace and demand an end to war from their political leaders.
You're listening to 680 News Radio Toronto. NASA's Artemis II crew are now in Houston, Texas, being celebrated as the first astronauts to fly by the moon in more than half a century. Commander Reed Wiseman, pilot Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Canada's Jeremy Hansen are being celebrated by their colleagues following Friday's momentous splashdown in the Pacific. Here's sound of the warm welcome back. And again, a big round of applause for the astronauts who are currently making their first public remarks since their return to Earth after a historic 10-day moon mission. Also, the Royal Canadian Mint celebrating this and launching a new collector coin celebrating Canada's part in NASA's Artemis II mission.
Now that the Artemis II mission has concluded, Canada's lunar role for future missions is not over.
Involvement now shifts to what's next for future lunar missions, with Canadians already involved behind the scenes. For Artemis 4, and Ontario planetary scientist Dr. Gordon Oshinsky is set to help guide astronauts at the lunar South Pole, the first human return since 1972. That work includes mapping routes, selecting samples, and shaping the science done on the surface. Canada is also eyeing a material contribution set to be ready for 2034, the creation of a lunar rover. As Caroline Emmanuel-Morissette, senior scientist in lunar planetary science at the Canadian Space Agency, puts it, Canada isn't just watching the next missions in space, it's helping build them. Don Mitchell, the Canadian Press.
Up next, gas prices.
680 News Time 5:09.
Your trusted news.
680
News Radio Toronto.
This portion of 680 News Radio is brought to you by Soul 7 Squares.
Hi, I have exciting news.
Oh, hi, Cher. What you got?
Share Squares is now called Soul 7 Squares. Same whole food, fruit, vegetables, and protein squares. 40 grams protein, 20 grams fiber, 4 full servings, fruits and vegetables per serving of 4 squares.
Soul 7 Squares.
Something you can feel good about 7 days a week.
And I can still find them at Loblaws and Sobeys?
With a refrigerated produce, just $3.99 for a package of 4.
Soul 7.
Eat good, do good, 7 days a week.
Thanks, Sherry.
You're welcome.
Now let's give you your gas price update. Ampro predicts the price will rise 1 cent at midnight to $1.73.9 cents a liter. Most GTA gas stations. Up next, traffic and weather together.
Okay, everything is humming along. And because you have Enercare Advantage, this visit is covered.
My furnace?
Humming along just fine.
My tankless water heater?
Humming.
The reverse osmosis system?
Also humming along.
And it's all covered.
You got it.
I'm so happy I could hum.
Yep, that's what they all say.
Experts at emergency repairs, maintenance, and home comfort in the GTA, so you have nothing to worry about.
Enercare, experts at home.
As Canada stares down economic uncertainty, we're ready with a plan to protect Ontario. We're fighting to defend every job, building new nuclear facilities, speeding up approvals, diversifying our trade, bringing opportunity and good jobs home. Because this province doesn't just sit back. we build. That's how we protect Ontario. Learn more at ontario.ca/protectontario. Paid for by the Government of Ontario.
6:50 news time, 5:11. That means it's now time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here is Mike Davey.
This report is brought to you by Diamond and Diamond Lawyers on the westbound 403 approaching Eglinton and the Collectors. All lanes have reopened. They cleared the collision there. Ramp to Eglinton, the left lane has also reopened. It was closed off with the same collision. Still slow from the 401 in the Collectors, but it should start to improve. On the eastbound 401, looks like this collision that was just east of Highway 6 South is cleared. I don't know for sure. Don't have cameras out that way, but the delay looks like it's starting to break up a little bit. Still busy as you get east of Highway 6 North to approaching Guelph line, but it does look like it's starting to break apart a little bit. So hopefully that's gone. It will get slow again because of a collision. So this is going to be approaching Kiel in the right lane where this crash is. So emergency crews on scene. It's slow from the 427 Express Collectors to Kiel. And then it gets slow again through Salem. Westbound 401 volume west of Brock Street to approaching Salem. From Kennedy, alternating Express Collectors to Avenue, 400 Express to Dixon. On the northbound DVP, volume Don Mills to York Mills, southbound 404 DVP. It's busy south of Finch to York Mills, and then south of Eglinton to Bayview Bloor, south of Bloor to approaching the Gardner. Westbound Gardner, expect to slow down west of Spadina to Park Lawn. Once you're onto the westbound QEW 427 to Dixie, slow 4 Drive to Trafalgar, and then again Appleby to approaching Brant. Eastbound QEW Gardner combination, it's backed up approaching Mississauga Road to Dixie, then approaching Park Lawn to the Jarvis Ramp. When it comes to fighting for your rights, there's nothing tougher than a diamond. Call Diamond and Diamond, Canada's largest injury law firm with over $1 billion in client settlements. Call 1-800-567-HURT. Your next report is at 5:21. Now your forecast, Denise Andriachi.
A very sunny and seasonal afternoon here across the GTA. Our guaranteed high 10, pretty much where we should be for this time of year. We are clear this evening, partly cloudy overnight. We do have some periods of light rain and scattered showers throughout the day tomorrow. Afternoon high near 7, and then temperatures are expected to climb to near 10 Sunday night. This is ahead of a big warm-up on Monday. We are mild Monday, the chance of showers with sunny breaks, slight thunderstorm risk, and a high of 19. Our guaranteed high today, 10 degrees.
Right now in downtown Toronto, 10 degrees and clear. Up next, headlines and sports.
Tired of hopping from store to store for all your sleep essentials? At Leon's, we're your one-stop sleep solution. Find everything you need, like exclusive Sealy mattresses from only $5.99, plus pillows, comforters, and sheet sets from $19. Leon's. Spend less, sleep comfortably.
At No Frills, the Price Cut event is on now, so you can say yes to savings. Get select varieties of Campbell's or Habitat soups for only $2 until April 15th. Visit your local No Frills or nofrills.ca for details. No Frills, yes savings.
Dodge Garage Doors is celebrating with huge savings. Save up to $1,000 on Dodge Garage Doors, the most reviewed, best reviewed, highest rated garage doors on the market. Consumer's Choice Award winners 23 years in a row. Be proud to say my garage door is a Dodge door. Save now when you upgrade with the exclusive top quality Dodge Garage Door. Don't wait, call now because the huge spring sale ends April 30th at Dodge Garage Doors.
DODDS. No one does it better than Dodge does. No one.
Toronto's trusted news. 680 News Radio.
10 degrees and clear in downtown Toronto. Good afternoon. I'm Brandon DuPont. Here are your top stories this hour. The Liberal National Convention comes to a close today, but not without a speech from none other than the party leader and Prime Minister Mark Carney. Liberal leader called on Canadians to band together in the face of rapid geopolitical and technological change and cited the Tumbler Ridge shooting, saying Canadians looked out for one another. This comes as the federal Liberals are just one seat shy of obtaining a majority government with multiple by-elections set for across the country on Monday. Also, 3 women are luckily expected to survive after police say their vehicle was shot at by a pair of male suspects in another vehicle just after midnight in the North York area of Jane and Shepherd. Investigators still looking for those 2 men. Meanwhile, the women, all in their 20s, sustained non-life-threatening injuries and drove themselves to a hospital. Coming up after sports, another arrest has been made by Toronto police in connection to a homicide last year in the city's downtown core. But for now, it's time for sports, and from sports at 590, the Fan, well, yeah, things not going so swell at Rogers Centre for the Jays.
Thanks, Brandon. The Blue Jays going in Game 2 of their 3-game series with the Minnesota Twins at Rogers Center. Dalton Varsho with a 2-run shot in the first. It was 2-0 Jays, but the Twins score 7 in the third inning. They're heading to the top of the ninth. It's 7-2 Twins. You can watch it on Sportsnet and listen on 590 The Fan. The Maple Leafs will meet the Florida Panthers at Scotiabank Arena in a battle of bottom of the Atlantic Division. Both teams come in struggling, having lost 4 straight. The Leafs dropping a 5-3 decision to the New York Islanders, while the Panthers lost 5-1 to the Ottawa Senators, who, by the way, won today. And if Detroit loses tonight, Ottawa is going to the playoffs. Puck drops at 7 o'clock, and you can watch it on Sportsnet. Around the NHL, also at 7, the Montreal Canadiens will meet the Columbus Blue Jackets on Sportsnet East. The Jets face the Philadelphia Flyers on Sportsnet 1. Flames are in Seattle to take on the Kraken on Sportsnet West. The nightcap will have the Vancouver Canucks meeting the San Jose Sharks. You can see that at 10 o'clock on Sportsnet. The Scepters face the Ottawa Charge. Ottawa wins at 2-0. TFC was back on the pitch against FC Cincinnati at BMO Field. 1-1 the final. They'll take on Austin next Saturday. Round 3 at the Masters going in Augusta, Georgia. Rory McIlroy atop the leaderboard at -13 through 10 holes. Cameron Young, 2 back at -11. He's through 14. The top Canadian, Nick Taylor, has finished his round at -3. Sports at 15 and 45 past every hour or anytime at sportsnet.ca.
The federal by-elections in Scarborough Southwest and University Rosedale are on Monday, April 13th. Are you planning to vote? Check your voter information card to find out where to vote. Polls will be open from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Don't forget to bring accepted ID. If you're not registered to vote, you can register at your assigned polling station. For the official information you need to vote, visit elections.ca or call 1-800-463-6868. It's our vote.
For the last 30 years, Capital One has been there for over 4 million Canadians. 30 years of giving credit and helping people reach the milestones that matter. Because we know when you're given the chance, you can do something great. Whether it's that lease on a new car, a place with more space, or just the feeling that comes with making your daughter's birthday the best one yet. With Capital One, this is just the start. Learn more at CapitalOne.ca.
You're listening to 680 News Radio at 5:18. Toronto police have made a second arrest in connection to a homicide dating back to last year. Officers were called to the area of King Street West and Spadina Avenue for reports of a shooting. Police say an 18-year-old, that being of the name Dylan Adams of Toronto, was approached by a group of men and then shot at. He was rushed to hospital where he later died. 27-year-old, that being Frandy Noel, was arrested the next day and charged with murder. Now, 5 months later, police have arrested and charged 22-year-old Xavion Baswell in connection with the shooting. You listen to 680 News Radio. A woman is dead after being hit by a GO train late last night in Richmond Hill. Police aren't releasing any details, but what we do know is what York police were called to the Elgin Mills crossing just north of Richmond Hill GO station. This just after 6:30 p.m., but it's still unclear exactly what happened. The incident forced GO Transit to cancel the last 2 northbound trains on the Richmond Hill line Friday night, with commuters forced to take shuttle buses to Gormley and Bloomington GO stations. CN police have since taken over this investigation. You're listening to 680 News Radio. Up next, traffic and weather together on the ones.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in stock, ready to deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
A serious car accident can change your life in an instant, but a team of trusted legal and medical experts can clear your path to recovery. I'm David Himmelfarb, HimPro's managing partner. Let my team demonstrate the HimPro advantage. It's how we negotiate with insurance companies, build a winning case, and deliver the largest settlement. Call 833-4HIMPRO for a free consultation or visit himpro.ca. HimPro, serious results for serious injuries, fast.
HimPro.
680 News Time, 5:21 now. Time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones. Here's Mike Davey.
Thanks, Brandon. This report is brought to you by Don Valley North Toyota. If you're heading out onto the eastbound 401. I think it's safe to say that collision that was just east of Highway 6 South is gone. Things really starting to improve here. So not moving up to speed, but better. Going to be slow approaching Highway 6 South to approaching Guelph Line. Once you're through that, there is a crash as you get to Kiel. It's going to be in the collector lanes, so that's going to be in the right lane specifically where it is. But I'm just pulling up the camera here. No, it's gone too. So another collision clearing up. So some good news. Still going to be slow 427 to Kiel, alternating express collectors. Slow through the collectors as you get to Bayview. Warden to Kennedy collectors. Expected delay. Then it's slow through Salem. Westbound 401 west of Brock Street to approaching Salem, you can expect to slow down. More volume, Kennedy alternating express collectors to Bayview. Kiel alternating express collectors to the 427. Eastbound QEW Gardner combination in Mississauga, it's going to be moving slowly east of Erin Mills to Dixie. Then once you're on the Gardner from Kipling Express to the Jarvis Ramp, you can expect a delay. Northbound DVP jammed at Don Mills up to York Mills. Southbound 404 DVP first to slow down from Finch to York Mills, and then south of Eglinton to Bayview Bloor, south of Bloor to approaching the Gardner. If you're getting onto the westbound Gardner, west of Spadina to Park Lawn, it's a slow go through that section. And then on the QEW westbound, spotty delays west of the 427 to approaching Mississauga Road, then Ford Drive to Trafalgar. Boasting some of the best brand loyalty in Canada. Not that Don Valley North Toyota likes to boast. Visit the showroom or DonValleyNorthToyota.com, a division of Wayne's Auto Group. Your next report is at 5:31. Now your forecast. Here's Denise Andriachi.
Sunny and seasonal this afternoon. It's a pretty solid start to this weekend, but spring showers back in the forecast tomorrow. A bit cooler tomorrow afternoon as well with that rain. Afternoon highs near 7, but we warm up to near 10 degrees Sunday night. This is ahead of some milder air that's going to lock into place through southern Ontario. We are expecting mild, rainy conditions for most of next week. The guaranteed high today, 10 degrees.
Currently in downtown Toronto, we are sitting at that high of 10 degrees and clear sunny skies. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, the latest on Prime Minister Mark Carney calling for unity as his speech marks the end of the Liberal National Convention, with the party on the precipice of forming a majority government on Parliament Hill. 680 News Time, 5:23.
It's Urban Manor's store closing retirement sale. After 28 years in business, we're closing our doors forever. Now everything must be sold, down to the bare walls. This will be the biggest sale of fine quality furnishings in our history. Shop liquidation sale prices on more than $4 million of fine quality home furnishings, floor samples, warehouse inventory, and accessories. Don't miss the store closing retirement sale. On now at Urban Manor, 1911 Dundas Street East in Mississauga.
No matter where you are,
whenever you need it,
trust us. We're #1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather.
Always there with you 24/7.
Listen anytime on the all-new Seeker app or ask your smart speaker to play. 680 News Radio Toronto.
It's Charles Barkley with Wayfair. It's outdoor season, and my patio setup better be ready to play. That's where Wayfair wins. Patio seating, umbrellas, and grills, all delivered fast and easy. Shop wayfair.ca now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Listening to 680 News Radio, a man has been taken to hospital with serious injuries after being stabbed in Scarborough. Toronto police say they were called to Kingston Road in Brimley at around 5:45 this morning. A victim in his 30s is expected to survive. Meanwhile, 2 men were arrested at the scene. Police are still on scene investigating. It's still unknown if there are any outstanding suspects. You're listening to 680 News Radio Toronto. Spring has sprung, and it might be time to give your home a little refresh. The one-of-a-kind spring market is taking place at the Enercare Centre all weekend long. Stop by to support small businesses and vendors from across the nation. Spring Market is open today until 8 p.m. and tomorrow between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. And of course, you can get tickets online. You're listening to 680 News Radio. The time now, 5:25. There are new construction zones impacting the roads around the GTA. 680's Jordan Kerr takes a look.
Are in place as of this week. A long-term one, northbound Bayview ramp to the eastbound 401 has been shut down for reconstruction until May 22nd. Crews are redoing the noise barrier, installing new sewer and gutter systems along with resurfacing. And the other one is intermittent at Sherbourne and the Gardner. Due to Metrolinx work, Lower Sherbourne is experiencing short-term closures between Lakeshore and the Esplanade. So when northbound gets shut down, there's no access from the westbound Gardner to Sherbourne. You have to go further west to Jarvis. On Lakeshore, there's ongoing daily lane closures around Yonge for water main replacement. That's due to be done at the end of this month. And starting next week in Pickering, the Brock Road ramp to the eastbound 401 is being shut down until September for MTO bridge work. That closure starts on Tuesday, April 14th. I'm Jordan Kerr.
You're listening to 680 News Radio Toronto. Up next, Weekend Business.
Need welding equipment? Come to Joseph Gas. We're authorized for Lincoln, Miller, ESAB, Hobart, Thronius, and Canawell. We stock the guns, torches, regulators, helmets, gloves, and abrasives. Everything to put that machine to work. And learn how to use it in our demo lab with a Red Seal welder before you take it home. Plus, take advantage of in-store deals like Miller's Build with Blue, Lincoln's Money Matters, and ESAB's Burn and Earn at Joseph Gas. Get the right machine at the best price. That's Joseph with an F, as in family.
Mark's Can't Miss Spring event is on now. Until April 22nd, save up to 60% on great deals perfect for spring. Refresh your closet and save on a wide selection of styles from your favorite brands. On now at Marks and Marks.com.
Live racing is back at Woodbine Racetrack April 18th. Races start at 1:20 p.m. with free programs and an opening day giveaway. Plus, parking and admission are free. Find out more at woodbine.com.
And it is now time for your Weekend Business Report.
I'm Phil Martino. James Kluwer is a master of wine and the owner of Fine Vintage, which was started in Toronto in 1995.
Now our office is in Vancouver, but we have a wine school actually in Toronto, the #1 wine school, where we offer professional certification courses. So we run those at One King West Hotel, downtown Toronto.
The company also offers luxury wine tours to 17 destinations around the world.
All of them are the classic wine regions of the world, like Bordeaux, Burgundy, Tuscany, Rioja. But also we take people to Napa Valley and Southern Hemisphere, Chile, Argentina, South Africa. So we cover the globe. And 5 days, 4 nights, in the absolute lap of luxury.
But he says there's something different about their tours.
And that is that they are always hosted by a master of wine. So you're guaranteed to be well educated about all matters vinous on our journeys.
James Kluwer is the owner of Fine Vintage. With your Weekend Business Report, I'm Phil Martino.
3 key severance pay facts you must know with Lior Samfiru from employmentlawyer.ca.
Fact number 1, a full severance package isn't just 1 or 2 weeks per year of service. It can be as much as 24 months pay. Fact number 2, you don't have to accept a severance offer on the spot or by your employer's deadline. Thirdly, you are likely owed severance if you're laid off, fired for cause, or even a contractor. When you lose your job, don't settle for what your employer wants to pay you. Get what the law says you should have. My experienced team has helped tens of thousands of employees get their compensation when they were wrongfully dismissed. Before you accept any severance package, call me and discover why my employment law firm is the most positively reviewed firm in Canada.
Contact employment lawyer Lior Samfiru today. Get the advice you need and the compensation you deserve. Visit employmentlawyer.ca. That's employmentlawyer.ca.
680 News Time, 5:30.
#1 for breaking news, traffic, and weather. 680 News Radio, Toronto.
Good afternoon. It is Saturday, April 11. I'm Lisa Emerald.
And I'm Brandon DePont. Here's what's making news right now.
Prime Minister Mark Carney spoke at the Liberal National Convention in Montreal this afternoon ahead of the by-elections set to take place on Monday that are expected to give the Liberals a majority government.
A rally in protest of the closure of supervised consumption sites got underway this afternoon in the Queen and Sherbourne area.
In North York, 3 women were the target of a drive-by shooting last night in the Jane and Shepherd neighborhood.
A Toronto man with a rare and aggressive cancer says there are no targeted therapies or clinical trials in Canada that match his molecular profile. So he's been forced to seek care south of the border.
The Twins are rolling against the Blue Jays at Rogers Center so far, and the Maple Leafs will deal with the Florida Panthers. Sports at 45.
680 News Time, 531.
It is time for Rogers Xfinity Internet traffic and weather together on the ones with Mike Davey.
Thanks, Lisa. This report brought to you by Auto Planet Brampton. If you're heading out onto the eastbound 401, slow drive Dixie, alternating express collectors to Kiel, slow through the express approaching Avenue to approaching Leslie, Warden to approaching Kennedy through the collectors, moving slowly, then again through Salem, westbound 401. Backed up approaching the 412 to approaching Salem. Doesn't get busy again until you start approaching Kennedy, alternating express collectors to Avenue, then slow from Dufferin, alternating express collectors to the 427. Northbound DVP, Don Mills to north of Lawrence, moving slowly. Southbound 404 DVP, south of Finch to York Mills, you can expect a delay. Then it's slow south of Eglinton to Bayview Bloor, south of Bloor to approaching the Gardner. If you're getting onto the Gardner, westbound Spadina to Park Lawn, it's going to be slow through that stretch of the highway. Westbound QEW, minor delay through Dixie, gets busy in Oakville, Ford Drive to Trafalgar. Eastbound QEW, east of Aaron Mills to Dixie, slow go. Then it's busy again. Kipling Express all the way to the Jarvis Ramp. On the northbound 410, north of Steelston, north of Queen, more volume. Your next car isn't a search. It's already waiting at AutoPlanet. Find your new ride from over 500 vehicles in stock. Visit autoplanet.ca today. Your next report is at 5:41. Now your forecast. Here is Denise Andriachi.
10 is our guaranteed high. It's a lovely afternoon, plenty of sunshine and calm winds out of the northwest. We're mainly clear this evening, partly cloudy overnight, down to near +1. So a cooler start to Sunday morning again. These are not temperatures that are unusual for this time of year. Periods of rain and scattered showers near 5 millimeters expected Sunday. In the afternoon, near 7. And then we'll see temperatures climb as the winds change direction. Sunday night near 10. The guaranteed high today, 10 degrees.
Right now in downtown Toronto, it is currently 10 degrees and clear sunny skies. 680 News Time, 5:33.
The Liberal National Convention is in its third and final day, with Prime Minister Mark Carney giving his keynote address to the official voting base and political leadership earlier this afternoon.
This room, the people in this room is remarkable.
Carney says it's no time for politics as usual as the country finds itself in the middle of a transformation that will define it for generations to come.
There will be headwinds, black ice, steep climbs along the way. We'll have to be pragmatic and determined to keep moving forward. But this is the journey that we must make.
The convention is coming to a close just ahead of a set of by-elections on Monday, expected to give the Liberals a majority government.
Well, a rally this afternoon near Queen and Sherbourne in protest of the closure for all supervised consumption sites in the province, including sites at Moss Park and Fred Victor downtown. It's organized by the Workers' Union CUPE Local 5399 in collaboration with the Toronto Overdose Prevention Society and the Harm Reduction Action Collective. They're calling on Premier Doug Ford and Health Minister Sylvia Jones to rescind the announcement of defunding the sites, saying these crucial spaces build community and social inclusion, provide essential primary care, and save lives.
The challenge with the current provincial government is that they try to force us into having an either-or scenario. It's not like hard hubs wouldn't be potentially beneficial. The truth of the matter, however, is that safe consumption